Okay, sorry. I'm having a very hard time, apparently, doing what I need to do. So I want to get a video lesson done. And I feel like it might be a while. This one might be a little bit long. I am asking you to write down everything that I write down. We're going to start multiplying fractions, and it's really not that bad once you get the hang of what's going on. As long as you know your multiplication facts, you should be fine. For right now, use a cheat sheet. You've got stuff in your notebook, you've got stuff by the windows. Just use your cheat sheet and make this easy. I do need you to get out a pencil. I do need you to get out a highlighter, and I need you to be on the very next page that you have in your math notebook for me. Wait, I didn't even turn it. Oh my gosh. You guys can't do anything with me. All right. I need you to put the date. Should be 3/2. Sorry about all the shadows. Doing the best I can here. I want you to give me a heading that just says fraction multiplication. If at any time I'm writing too fast, if at any time you need me to slow down, just pause the video, and when you're ready, unpause me and let's go. I want to start just with fraction times fraction. So I need you to give me a bullet point. I'm going to put fraction times fraction, and we're going to go from there. I don't know if I brought a highlighter. No. All right, well, use your highlighter to highlight this. I don't have a highlighter, so I'm just going to bubble it in and make this work. The easiest thing that you can do for fraction multiplication, especially if it's two fractions, it's just the top number times the top number. So the numerator times numerator. The denominator times denominator, or the bottom number times the bottom number. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a few examples. If you feel like you got it, that's great. I'm asking you to write down what I write down so I know we have what we need. Let's say they give us 5/8 times 2/3. It's literally the top number times the top number. So this would become 5 times 2. Bottom number times bottom number, 8 times 3. But 5 times 2 is 10. And 8 times 3 is 24. That's it. You're done. That's it. Guys, as long as you know your multiplication facts, it's really not that big of a deal. If you know that you need extra support, use one of the cheat sheets that you have in your notebook. If you feel like you need extra support, look at the stuff on the windows. It's going to tell you what you need. We're going to do a few more fraction times fraction. It's literally the numerator times the numerator, top number times top number, denominator times denominator, bottom number times bottom number. Let's do 4/7 times 6/8. 4 times 6 is 24, top number times top number. Bottom number, 7 times 8. Well, 7 times 8, I know, is 56. I'm done. That's it. It's literally that easy. That's it. I'm going to give you number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now, I want to remind you that Miss Staples, our sub, she knows that when you go to tell her that she needs to check your notebook for your notes, how many examples she should see for each part. So if I have 6 examples for fractions times fractions and you don't, then you're not moving on because you're not done. So please make sure that you write down what I write down. Please make sure that you're with me. I'm going to give you number 3, number 4, and number 5. I'm going to ask you to try them, and you can obviously pause me, use your resources, use your cheat sheet. Look at the windows if you need it, if you don't know the facts. And then when you're ready to go, let's check our answers, and we'll go from there. Here's number 3. Oh, nope, still me. Okay. Let's say we do 12/15 times 2/3. I want you to try it. If you need to pause me, then pause me. We don't have a cheat sheet. Well, that's actually not true. We do have a cheat sheet for 15. You'd have to look at the one for division. But there is no 15 up by the window. So if you don't have that cheat sheet for division, then you're going to try something off to the side. If your two bottom numbers are 15 and 3, then you need to figure out what 15 times 3 would get you. If you need to pause me, then pause me. I want you to try 12/15 times 2/3. Top number times top number. I know that 12 times 2 is 24. Bottom number times bottom number. 15 times 3 should get me 45. I know that because 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 1 is 3, plus the extra gives me 4. So I get 24 over 45, and I'm done. I want you to try number 4. Do 7/8 times 6/8. Multiplying fractions, you don't need the same bottom number. You don't need a common denominator. You're just multiplying straight across. Top number times top number, bottom number times bottom number. That's it. Top number times top number, figure out what 7 times 6 is. I know that 7 times 6 is 42. If you don't know that, you're using your cheat sheet or you're looking at the windows. Bottom number times bottom number, 8 times 8, 64. I'm done. I think I want to give you maybe 2 more to try, and then we're moving on. Let's say for number 5, we do 8/10 times 4/7. Multiply those fractions for move straight across. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Top number times top number, 8 times 4 is 32. Bottom number times bottom number, 10 times 7, 70. That's all we have. Let's do one more for fraction times fraction, then we're going to look at a different kind. Let's do 11/12ths times 3/4. Top number times top number, bottom number times bottom number. Figure out what your numerator would be. Figure out what your denominator would be. Top number times top number, 11 times 3 is 33. Bottom number times bottom number, 12 times 4 is 48. Guys, the biggest thing here is if you don't know your facts, you need to find them. Use your resources. Do it off to the side. Get what you need. I actually am at the bottom of my page, not all the way, but almost. So I'm going to flip my page and go to the back. There are 3 ways they can show us fraction multiplication, one of which was fraction times fraction. The other way is a fraction times a whole number. If you have your highlighter, highlight this. Remember, if you need to pause me because I'm writing too fast, talking too fast, pause me, remind me, whatever. I just need you with me. I don't have my highlighter, so I'm just going to bubble this in. It's my little heading here. The biggest help that I can be to you right now is just to give you a hint. I need you to put your whole number over 1. That's what I'm going to write. Put your whole number over 1. If you want to highlight this sentence, it's crazy important. It makes a world of difference. I'm obviously going to walk you through the first few, okay? And then I'm going to ask you to try some through the video. And I just want you to know that after the video, there is an exit ticket. So please make sure you're with me. I also want to remind you, you're going to have to show Miss Staples your notebook. So you're going to have to show her the 6 examples that you have with correct answers for the first 6 examples for fraction times fraction. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 or 7 more examples for fraction times whole number, and you're going to have to show her in your notebook where they are. So make sure you write down what I write down, make sure you have what you need. I want to look right here. Before we get into anything, when I say put your whole number over 1, let's say your number is 16. Well, 16 as a fraction is 16 over 1. Let's say your number is 94. Well, 94 as a fraction is just 94 over 1. If you have the number 10, then it's 10 over 1. You're literally going to put your whole number over 1. I'm going to walk you through a couple of them just to show you. Let's do 8 times 2/3. 8 is a whole number. So I'm going to use a pencil because I don't have a red pen to show you a different color, but you can use a red pen to show yourself something and make sure you can see it. I'm going to put it over 1. Now it's a fraction and a fraction. You're doing top number times top number, bottom number times bottom number, but 8 times 2 is 16, and 1 times 3 is 3. You're done. You are done. Number 2 is going to say 10 times 4/6. So put your whole number over 1. Top number times top number. 10 times 4 is going to get me 40. Bottom number times bottom number. 1 times 6 is going to get me 6. Now before we move on, and I want you to write this down with me, guys, we can read a fraction like division. Top number divided by bottom number. So this really is 40 divided by 6. 40 over 6 is the same thing as me saying 40 divided by 6. So if you think about how many times 6 can go into 40, I know that 6 times 5 is 30, 6 times 6 is 36, and 6 times 7 would get me 42. I can't use 6 times 7 because 42 is already greater than 40. But I know that 6 times 6 is 36. I want to count up from 36 to 40 to see how many more I need. Because 6 can go into 40 6 full times, and it gets me to 36. So if I'm at 36, there's 37, 38, 39, and 40. I've gone through 4 more fingers. So that's going to be my numerator, and my bottom number is never going to change. All I'm trying to get you to realize is if you can get to 40 over 6, we eventually need to be able to get to 6 and 4/6 as well. These are equivalent. They're worth the same amount. Because if I were to do the backward C, 6 times 6 is 36, and 36 plus 4 gets me 40. They're exactly the same, but we need to be able to get to both. So I want to try this. I'm going to give you one. I think we should be fine to put the whole number over 1. I think we should be fine to get an answer. I want to work on getting a second answer. If I'm at, well, let's see what 3 is. Let's say we do 6, times 3/4. Go ahead and put 6 over 1. Get me an answer. Do top times top, bottom times bottom. Get me an answer. Six times 3 is 18. 1 times 4 is 4. But if you read this like division, this says 18 divided by 4. Top divided by bottom. I want to see if we can get a second answer. If you're like, what the heck is this lady talking about? You're coming up with how many times can 4 go into 18? If you don't know, start listing out your facts. Make a T-chart. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. If you don't know that, you're at 4. Count up 4 more times. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 5 is 20. I know I can stop here because my number only got me to 18. I can't go over 18. I'm only going into 18. So if you look at how many times 4 can go into 18, I can't go over 18. I can only go to 16. But that means that 4 can go into 18 4 full times. If 4 times 4 is 16, count up. You're at 16. Get yourself to 18. How many fingers are you going to go through? You're at 16, so 17 and 18. You're only going through 2 fingers. Your bottom number stays the same. All I'm trying to get you to realize is that both of these would be correct. They're allowed to show you an answer either way. We have to be able to find what we need. I'm going to give you 4. I want you to try it. If at the very least you can just do top number times top number, bottom number times bottom number, that's good enough for me right now. If you can get the second answer, amazing. If not, fine, we'll work on it. We'll figure it out. I'm going to say for number 4, let's make this simple. Let's do 5 times 4/6. Go ahead and put the whole number over 1. Move across. Top number times top number, bottom number times bottom number. Get yourself an answer. 5 times 4 is 20. 1 times 6 is 6. Guys, if you can at least get here, that's fine. If you can go farther than that, that's amazing. We read fractions from top to bottom. 20 divided by 6. If you don't know how many times 6 can go into 20, start making a list. Make a T-chart. 6 times 1 is 6. 6 times 2 is 12. If you don't know that, you have fingers. Count up 6 times. 6 times 3 would get me 18. 6 times 4 would get me 24. And I know I can stop here because I only have 20. I can't go to 24. It's too big. But this tells me that 6 can go into 20 3 times. Because if 6 goes into 20 3 times, it's going to get me to 18. So figure out what you have left. You're at 18. Count up to 20. How many fingers are you going through? Your bottom number never changes. Either one of these answers is right. They're both the same number. They're equivalent. I want to do 2 more like this. I want you to try number 5. I want to do 4 times 7/8. Go ahead and put your whole number over 1. Get me an answer. Multiply your fractions. Top times top, bottom times bottom. Use your resources if you don't know your facts. 4 times 7 is 28. 1 times 8 is 8. If you can at least get to 28/8, that's great. See if you can come up with a second answer. 28 divided by 8. How many times can 8 go into 28? You cannot go over. If you don't know, then start listing out your facts. You're at 8. Count up. See what you need. Eight times 2 should get me to 16. 8 times 3 should get me to 24. 8 times 4 should get me to 32. I only have 28. The closest I can get to 28 without going over is 24. But that tells me that 8 can go into there to 28 3 full times. It gets me to 24. Count up from 24 to 28. How many fingers are you going through? Your bottom number doesn't change. I want to do one more, and then I want to look at one more thing. Last one like this. Let's do 7 times 5 sevenths. Put the whole number over 1. Multiply your fractions. Move straight across. Top times top, bottom times bottom. 7 times 5 is 35. 1 times 7 is 7. Read it like division. 35 divided by 7. Top number divided by bottom number. See if you can find me another answer. If you don't know, then start listing out your facts for 7. You're at 7. Count up 7 times. Count up 7 more times. Keep going. See how many times 7 can go into 35. If you already know, give me just a second. If you counted correctly, 7 times 5 is 35. 7 can go into 35 5 full times. There are no leftovers. It takes you exactly where you need to go. Guys, there are 3 ways they can show it. Fraction times fraction, fraction times whole number, fraction times a mixed number. But we already know how to do the backward C. We should be fine. All I've done in my notebook, because I'm at the top of the page, just draw a line. I'm going to give myself a little heading. This is the last one. So if you're thinking, my gosh, lady, I hear ya, I'm almost done. Remember that you got to be with me because you got to be able to show Miss Staples your notebook. It's got to match mine. Highlight this. This is a new little heading. I'm going to walk you through the first couple, and then I'm going to ask you just to try things. That's it. Let's say we do 7.5 times 3/4. Anytime you see a mixed number, I need you to do the backward C. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 plus 1 more is going to get me 15. So 7.5 is going to turn in to 15 halves. This already is a fraction. I'm just going to bring them down. Now, they're not next to each other, so I'm going to erase this and bring it down again. But it's still the same thing. Top number times top number, bottom number times bottom number. You're going to make yourself have a fraction times a fraction because you're doing the backwards C. You have 15 and 3 as your numerators. You have 2 and 4 as your denominators. Move across, figure things out, do it off to the side if you have to. Use your resources. If you have your division cheat sheet, you have a cheat sheet for 15. 15 times 3 should get you 45. 2 times 4 is 8. Guys, this is 45 divided by 8. This is still a right answer. See if you can get another answer. Start listing out your facts for 8. See how far you can go. How many times can 8 go into 45? I know I can't go to 6 because it gets me to 48. 48's too big. I only have 45. The closest I can get to 45 without going over is 40. But that means it goes in 5 full times. It gets me to 40, so you count up on your fingers. You're at 40. How many more do you need to get to 45? Bottom never changes. It's the same. I want to try 2 1/3. Let's just say times 2/3. Do the backward C. Make it a fraction. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 more is going to get me 7. When you turn this into a fraction times fraction, just move straight across. I know that 7 times 2 is 14. 3 times 3 is 9. I have no doubt that we can get ourselves here. I need us to be able to get the second answer. You read a fraction like division from top to bottom. Top number divided by the bottom number. See if you can figure out how many times 9 can go into 14. If you don't know, start making a list for 9. You can't go over 14. I only need to get to 14. I know that it's only going to go in one full time because 9 times 2 would get me to 18. 18 is already too big. But if 1 times 9 is 9, count up. See how many more you need to get from 9 to 14. You know your bottom number is never going to change. If you count up from 9 to 14, you should count up 5 times. You're at 9, so this should be 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Either one of these is right. I just am trying to get us to get both. I want to do maybe 2 or 3 more like this so that we have it in our notebooks. And then I'm going to ask you to do an exit ticket on Schoology so we can see what we have. Let's say we do 5 1/3 times 3/4. Anytime you have a mixed number, do the backward C. Three times 5 is 15. 15 plus 1 should get me 16, so I get 16/3. This is already a fraction. I'm just bringing it down. You don't have a cheat sheet for 16, so do it off to the side. 16 times 3. Figure out what we need. Three times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4. So 16 times 3 is just 48. Read it from top to bottom. 48 divided by 12. Make a list for 12. See how many times 12 can go into 48. I know that 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. But 12 times 4 is 48. It should just go in 4 full times. These are equivalent. They're worth the same amount. I want to do one more. Let's do 4 2/3 times 3/5. Anytime you have a mixed number, do the backward C. I'm going to let you go on your own for a minute or two, and then I'm going to give my answers. I know that 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 2 is 14, so this turns into 14/3. I'm going to multiply by 3/5. Top times top, bottom times bottom. You don't have a cheat sheet for 14. So do it off to the side. 14 times 3. I know that 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. It gets me 42. Read it from top to bottom. 42 divided by 15. See how many times 15 can go into 42. If you don't know, then you need to start making a list for 15. I'm at 15. Count up. Count up 15 times. I can't go over 42. So the closest that I can get is 30 because 45 is already bigger than 42 and I can't do that. But that tells me that 15 is going to go into 42 2 times. And when it does, it gets me to 30. So count up. See how many more you need. You know your bottom number is never going to change. You count up, you should have to count up 12 times. Before you try your exit ticket, I need you to show Miss Staples. She needs to sign off on the fact that you have 5 examples underneath fraction times fraction. Oops, that's not my right page. There we go. We have 6 examples under fraction times fraction. We have 5 examples under fraction times whole number. And then we should have 4 examples under fraction times a mixed number. What I'm going to ask you to do is once Miss Staples signs off and says that you have all your examples in your notebook, you're going to go to Schoology. It should be, I think it's like the 4th thing. Let me triple check. No, the 5th thing. The 5th thing is your math exit ticket. You have to at least get a 60%, so 3 out of 5 questions correct, and then you can move on. So you can take it as many times as you need to, but if you've been paying attention and you've been writing down everything you need in the video lesson, you should have no problems. Use your resources. Please go show Miss Staples your notebook, and if she signs off on it, go start your exit ticket.